Go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 annual shareholder meeting of Crappy Shoes. My name is Kalen Thomas. From left to right, I'd like each person on the panel to introduce themselves.
Sam Robinson, Derek Skluzak,
Thomas Cardenas.
And could you all please say what position you hold within the company?
financial analyst. I'm the director of finance.
Senior accountant.
And I'm the Chief Executive Officer. So, next slide, please. Our industry is basically focused on the wholesale, online sales, and private label sales of our shoes. We sell high-end shoes at a high price, and that distinguishes us from our competition in all four geographical sectors: North America, Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Next slide, please. Okay, and this graph kind of demonstrates exactly what I'm talking about. Here, you can see that Crappy Shoes is very far apart from the competition, and it's on the high-end, high-priced spectrum. And as the competition matured, they started moving towards our direction to take our market share. Next slide. So our strategic future, our vision is to create quality shoes that inspire the world and be a leader in our industry. Our mission is to make shoes that are sensational as the people who wear them, because whenever you're wearing one of our shoes, we want our consumers to feel that it's their shoe, it's their brand. And finally, our strategy is to retain our dominant position in the high-end, high-price spectrum of the retail shoe market. While we have seen competition trying to encroach on our territory, we do feel that we have an established brand in this price point range, and that over time we will endure in that range over the competition. All right, and now to our financial analyst to give you a rundown on the financial report.
Perfect. Now we'll dig into the financial performance of Crappy Shoes. So first of all, we'll give you a little overview. From year 11 through year 20, annual total revenues increased by $100,000 per year, which is pretty awesome compared to our competitors. Earnings per share only went up as well. Year 11 we had 2.89, and in year 2013. Return on equity only increased as well. Stock price went from 55 to year 20 all the way reaching to 270, which is pretty refutable as well. Credit rating maintained an A throughout the entire 9 years, so year 11 through year 20, A through A+. Image rating started off as an 83, and then finally reached our goal in year 20 at 100. So here's a little graph of our earnings per share. The yellow there shows the leaders in the industry. So year 12 through about year 18, we maintained towards the top of that spectrum, which is awesome. Return on equity, year 12 through about year 14, we maintained at the top. A little struggle there in year 17, brought it back up for year 20 at 33. So our stock price as well, year 11, we started off pretty low, and as I showed before, towards year 18, we got all the way up to the 200s, and ending in year 20 with 308. And here is a graph of the annual total revenues. So our revenues, of course, I showed in the first slide, increased gradually. Year 11, about 400 million, and then we reached our goal at 1.4 million towards the end, or billion towards the end, which is pretty awesome. And then earnings per share and return on equity. So that orange line at the bottom will represent the earnings per share, and the top line will represent return on equity, both showing a gradual incline. And of course, our stock price, here's a graph of that as well, starting at around 50 in year 11, and then reaching that 250 to 300 mark towards year 20.
Okay, and now I'm going to get into some of the financial projections that we have looking towards our company's future. Next slide. Here at Crappy Shoes, we really believe in delivering a superior product. And as you can see, here are some of the numbers that we have going into year 21. Our earnings per share, again, continues to increase, ending up at $13.04. Our return on equity increases as well, ending up in a 33.8% return. Our credit rating that we've maintained for so many years at an A+, we are happy to announce that that will again be projected to remain constant at an A+ rating. And our stock price is only going up, ending up with a $290 stock. As far as some of our bigger numbers, we expect our net sales revenues to be about $1.4 billion. Our cost of our pairs sold for our shoes is about $578 million, and our operating profit is $328 million, resulting in an overall net profit of $230 million. Here's our forecast using our state-of-the-art analytic tools going into the next 3 years. So this is going to cover all 4 of our geographic sectors: North America, Europe, Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. And here you can see our global totals continue to increase as each year goes on. And our private label demand, which we feel is extremely important here at Crappy Shoes, is also increasing, ending up at 29,000 in year 23.
All right. So, what are the keys to success in a company?
Let me go back to the previous slide.
So, like Calvin mentioned earlier,
We focus on high quality and high price strategy for our shoes. So on the market share and the internet share, we were doing decently, and we were profiting decent on those shares. But we were able to increase all the earnings per share, the return of equity, by focusing as well on the private label demand. We were, for the most part, during the course of the 20 decision years, or 10 decision years, we were offering a lot more than the competition to the private label companies. So typically, our team would study and project the amount that would be needed for the next year from the private label companies or the limit, and then we would decide how much we would offer to each companies for each of those locations: North America, Europe, Africa, Asia Pacific, and Latin America. For the most part, North America would have its limit at around 18%. Europe, Africa would have the same, but in Asia Pacific and Latin America, they fluctuated a lot, ranging from 18% to 36%. So every year, our team had to focus more on projecting whether the limit would increase. The reason for the limit is for the market to be able, for the market to stay away from monopolized transactions, just to stay away from monopoly, basically. So, next slide. All right, so the main things for success are logical decision making, the great team. We have a great team who also understands the market, and active participant in the community. I will elaborate all these things Next slide. So for logical decision making, our company based our decisions basically by using the competitive efforts. So every year our team would study the results of the previous year, and then based on those results, we would decide on what to do with whether we increase our price or increase our price or increase our advertising cost, and then offer more for the celebrities that endorses our shoes, our product. The next one is the company uses historical data to influence decisions. This is what I just mentioned earlier. So we focused on looking on those data to improve our decision making. We also focused our strategy to high quality standards and differentiated ourselves among the rest. So basically our strategy for this whole thing is the differentiation strategy. So for the most part, for the first half of from year 11 to year 15, you will notice that our company would be on top, basically by ourselves, and not really having that much competition. It's only for the later part that some of the companies started copying our strategy. And then we created superior products, features, and better reliability, and then convenience and brand image. Next slide. So our company is also an active participant in the community. So we understand that the responsibility we have in the community is vital. So ethics training and charitable contribution were gradually increased over the years. So we started off at around 1% of the company profit. So of each pair sold, 1% of them we would allot for our contribution to charity. And then at the end of the whole thing, at year 20, we basically have 4% for each of the pairs sold, donated to charitable institutions. Our company also got either the second place or awarded the Corporate Responsibility Award for 6 years out of 7, which is pretty important and pretty vital, because this active participation helped the overall image of the company, consistently having a perfect 100 from year 15 to year 20. Next slide. Our great team, who understands the market. Why do we say that? Our company studies the market and create projections. 7 out of the 10 annual decisions that we made in the business strategy game has been spot on, resulting to 7 points awarded to us. So the overall grade, basically, we had the highest points awarded out of all the companies in our industry. We were the top company in our industry from year 12 to year 20. In year 11, we started slow, but after that, we were dominating the industry, basically. We were also in the top 100 globally, reaching the top 12 on the latest ranking, which is, I believe that was the year 19 ranking. We were in the top 12 globally. So,
in conclusion, when you're a shareholder at Crappy Shoes, everybody on this panel and all the teams that they lead are thinking about the long-term interests of the shareholders in mind. And we do our very best to balance profits, investments, all geared towards making sure that there's sustainable long-term growth for our shareholders. And I'd like to thank everybody on the panel for their time. They are working very hard to make sure that our shareholders receive a return on their investment. And I'd like to thank you all for listening. Have a great day.